Hey all, if you're preparing for interviews for roles like cloud architect, cloud administrator, or network engineer, expect to be tested on AWS networking concepts like virtual private cloud, internet gateways, and VPC endpoints during interviews. These foundational elements are key to building secure, scalable, and efficient cloud infrastructure. And in today's video, we will walk you through how AWS VPC enables you to create isolated networks within the cloud, securely connect to the internet, and manage private communications using VPC endpoints. We'll also cover practical scenarios such as setting up secure private communication between EC2 instances and services like AWS Secrets Manager without exposing your resources to the internet. You'll also see real-world examples that demonstrate the security and scalability advantages of AWS networking tools. Also, if you're aiming for similar roles in AWS or feeling unsure about where to begin, don't miss our 90-minute free AWS job-oriented masterclass. In this session, our experts will walk you through our proven 3-step strategy and a clear roadmap that has helped professionals like Renga and Kennedy land their dream cloud jobs. So click the link in the description below to register and get started.
Virtual private cloud. So, where you launch your resources. And now, let me see. Yes, let me design one diagram for you so that you can understand what actually it is. So we have discussed about account. First, you have created the account. Now you are in that account like this. Sorry. Now you can see this is the console. If you have created your, oh, I have to log in first. I'll show you later. No problem. Let me design it here. So you can see here, this is your account. In your account, you have created a VPC. You have decided some limit as well, side limit, done. So let's say you have given 28, fine. So 28 gives you how many number of IP addresses are allowed? 16, right? And you know how to calculate that value. 32 minus, let me raise it, it is not clear. Write it again. So it is your VPC. So this is your IP address dot something, whatever, okay? Slash, let's say 28, I said, right? Now, according to this 28, let's calculate the value, how many number of IP addresses are allowed, minus 28, it is 4, and it will be 2 to the power 4, that is 16, done. Now, in VPC span across your availability zones, right? That's how it is. Sorry, this also. Now, you are you have decided you need a web server. So you will launch this web server here inside your VPC, inside your subnet. So here, this is your subnet. In this subnet, you have this instance launched. You have your private subnet. You have another instance launched, the database server, let's say, and this is your web server. And similarly, you have this one as well, another instance. Now, simply, VPC is like you have your house. I hope you have your unique address. Is your address matches with someone else? Is it? No, that is unique, right? So that is the IP address you have decided. Now, for in your house, you are going to enter inside your house. So how you enter? So this is your internet gateway. So I hope you have gate in your house from where you enter inside, right? Now, Hamid have decided to meet Arpit. So now Hamid is visiting the house. Now This is Arpit's room, right? The personal room, of course, this is our private server, right? So personal room is your bedroom now. So let's say if you are standing on the gate and you are ringing the bell, of course, you will come outside, right? If you're coming outside, now either you come or your any family member come and attend Hamid. Yes. Oh, welcome. You're Arpit's friend. Okay. So please come in. So this is your drawing room, right, Arpit? Now here everyone is sitting and you all are communicating. Fine. So this here we are keeping NAT gateway because you are not allowed to communicate directly to private subnet resource, means your database resource. Inbound is not allowed. Only outbound is allowed, right? So outbound via NAT gateway, which translate the IP address, right? And then allow the communication. I hope the picture is very clear, right? I hope you agree with the point. Like you will not allow Hamid inside your personal room, of course, as a guest, you will welcome him and he will wait in the guest room, drawing room, right? Any person who is coming at your house, anyone, right? Agree or not? So same with our resources. Of course, we never allow anyone or any public resource communicating to our private resources, right? Agree? Agree or not? So now the main, at least basic picture is clear. What is VPC, right? NAT for is for exit, outbound. Yes, correct, Renault. Thank you so much. It's nice. Yes, exactly. Perfect, Bhushan. NAT gateway is one directional. Perfect. So I think it is clear to everyone. Perfect. Next we have is component of VPC, and you can see many components we have for VPC. So what are these components? Whatever is, of course, when I said that VPC is needed when you are launching a server, and for many services it is needed. Again, please note it that VPC is not always required. There are some global services as well where you don't need VPC, right? So where VPC is needed, you have to launch it. So we have multiple components of VPC, like route tables. We define how my traffic is routed to and from the subnets. You can have custom tables, route tables for public or private subnet. For example, a route to 0.0.0 dot slash 0. Anywhere traffic. So we are allowing anywhere via internet gateway that makes the subnet public, right? So we can specify that into route table, and yes, we can do that easily. Now, next we have is VPC pairing, where we allow communication, private communication. For example, my VPC wants to connect to Renault VPC. So Renault has his VPC in his account, and his VPC wants to connect or communicate to my VPC. Now, this is called as VPC pairing. So one-to-one relationships are there. VPC can be in same or different AWS region or accounts. That is possible. So, but now my VPC is communicating to Renault VPC, right? So if any third VPC is coming, created VPC 3, now can my VPC communicate via VPC 2 to VPC 3? Is it possible? Means transitive relationships are possible? No, these are not allowed. So it is not allowed. So you have to take care of that. No transitive routing is there. VPC 1 cannot route the traffic to VPC 3 through B, means VPC 2. So you have to take care of it. Next we have is our internet gateway. So the internet gateway and NAT gateway. Internet gateway we have is which enables public internet access for instances in public subnet, and NAT gateway is your which allow private subnet. And now I hope the picture is clear why, as I already have explained in that architecture, right? So it accesses internet outbound only for software updates, but blocks all inbound traffic. That's all it is. Now, next we have is DNS. DNS is your domain name system, which translates the host name. Like for example, let's say your xyz.com to any particular IP address. AWS provides you built-in DNS resolution within the VPC. Amazon provided DNS, that is Route 53 also, right? You can create also, okay? And yes, when you launch your server, it also resolve your that link to IP address. And if you want to register your domain, you want to create your domain. So this is your AWS DNS. Now, next is Elastic IP, the another component. Elastic IP is your static IP. You can associate with an instance or NAT gateway. So when you need fixed external IP, fixed IP, so in that case, you can use Elastic IP. Next is VPC endpoint. When we talk about endpoint, then why we need endpoint? For private connectivity, we need endpoints. So like public-private connectivity between your VPC and your AWS services. For example, S3, DynamoDB or other without using public internet. So we have two types there. One is interface. Another one is gateway. These two endpoints. So interface is powered by ANI. So for private communication, yes, it sits within the private subnet, and gateway sits on the gate. And yes, you can create it for private communication to your private resources, but it allow you communication with only S3 and DynamoDB. I hope it is clear. So till this point, everything is clear. Clear to everyone? Okay. I got some questions. Sushil, Elastic IP assigned from CIDR assigned to VPC? No. Elastic IP is not assigned from CIDR from your VPC. Elastic IP is your public IP v4, which is provided by AWS. It is not drawn from your VPC CIDR block. It comes from AWS pool of IP addresses. That's how it is. Okay. And second question, if you're asking for DNS is mandatory. No, it is not mandatory. If it is needed, you can create it, you can dissolve it. But whenever it is needed, of course, you have the solution provided by AWS, that is Route 53. So DNS is not strictly mandatory in AWS, but it is highly recommended and often enabled by default because many services depends upon your DNS internal for internal communication or external access. So it is needed, right? Now, yes, I can explain interface one more time and VPC interface with one example. VPC interface is nothing actually. Interface endpoint we have. Yes, definitely. I will. Yes, VPC endpoint. Definitely I'm explaining. So endpoint, as I specified, that is for private communication, right? Private communication, whenever it is needed, where you want to avoid your NAT gateway or internet gateway, in that case, it is needed. Okay. So we use endpoints. Now, for example, if you are trying to use VPC endpoints, you create the endpoint, it gives you multiple options. So in those options, as I explained that we have interface. Let me remove all. We have interface and we have gateway. Let me erase it. Yes. Now, so first we have, let's take a scenario. Let's say if you are trying to access your secret manager using interface endpoint. Okay. So let's say if you have an instance, the server running EC2 instance in a private subnet, means there is no internet access, but you want to you want it to securely access AWS Secret Manager to retrieve DB credentials. So how you can do that? So in that case, this is the solution where you can use your endpoints. So if it is needed for your DB, for DB secret manager. So in that case, of course, it will not allow you for gateway endpoint, because gateway endpoint, if you are creating, that is that support only two services, DynamoDB and S3 now. So in that case, we create interface endpoint for secret manager service in your private subnet. Then AWS creates the ENI in your subnet with the private IP. Then EC2 instance access your secret manager via this particular ENI. So there is no internet used, no NAT used, there is no exposure done. So it was very secure solution. That's how it is.
And that's a wrap on AWS VPC, Internet Gateways, and VPC endpoints. Now you know how to manage your cloud infrastructure securely, ensuring efficient routing, private communication, and seamless connectivity. So whether you're a cloud architect, data engineer, or solutions architect, mastering these AWS components will set you apart in the cloud job market. And if you are ready to take your AWS career to the next level, don't forget to join our free AWS Job-Oriented Masterclass. Our experts will guide you through the skills and strategies needed to ace your interviews and land high-paying cloud jobs. Register through the link given in the description below. And thanks for watching this video, and make sure that you check out our previous videos on AWS right over here.